many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jodi Suson. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today.
Well, good morning, everybody. Grand Rising. And thank you for joining me today on Jodi Suson Self-Care, the Female Solution. There we go. So first of all, thank you everybody for coming. We are having a little bit of technical issues, so we're just gonna pause for a moment. The computer seems to have a mind of its own today. We will see what we can do here. But today we're going to talk about energy, and it looks about what happens when you walk into a room, the energy's off, and you just can't really pinpoint what's happening. So let me just see here what we can do. Let's see. Okay, so if you are watching live on YouTube, you can call into the show at 515. Let's see, it's scrolling here, and of course this one of those mornings. So 515-605-9325, and you want to press 1 to speak. If you're watching on Facebook, you can comment there, or you can just dial in and listen. So again, we're just having a little bit of difficulties here with our technology. So I'm just going to ask the listening audience to give grace as we figure this out and let our other guests in as well. So let's see what we got here. So let's see. Okay, so we are, I think we're just going to get started, and hopefully I'll be able to let the other guests in as they arrive. And today I want to talk about energy, right? And if you've ever walked into a room and you know that the energy's off, what is that about? And how can you shift that? We're also going to take a moment to introduce our team today as soon as they get out of the shower and over here. It's been one of those mornings. We're going to start the day also with some meditation. And that'll be really cool. And we'll show you where to access free music to help you meditate and get your day started with calm and with poise. So, and then I'm also going to show you about the effects of how you bring your energy into the room. And there's some evidence to show about how energy affects everything around us, including your plants, your water, and things like that. And actually, I want to tie that to the food that you eat. So if you're eating, for instance, food, if you're not vegan, which most of the people in the world are not, but let's say you're eating meat and they've treated that animal poorly, that animal now is holding a negative energy and you're consuming that negative energy. So these are all the things that we want to talk about today. And let me just see if we can get the other guests in the room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the music first, and I'm just going to get started on our meditation. So for those of you who don't know, you can get free music on YouTube. You go to the YouTube channel, all right, and which is where we're going right now. And you pull up 432 hertz music, right? And 432 hertz music helps raise the positive energy in the room for you, your pets, the place that you live in. And I'm just going to pick one. Let's see here.
For just $67, you can make as many videos as you want, and you never need to pick up a camera.
We're going to skip those ads, right? And Raj has just joined me. Hi, Raj. How are you, darling?
Morning.
Good morning. You got your cup of Joe with you, I hope?
Right over here.
Yay! So happy to see your handsome face. And that's a cool coffee mug.
Yeah, thank you.
So I did a little intro about what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about energy. Raj, before we get started on meditation, would you kindly share with people your background on energy? And I'm just pausing the 432 hertz music while we do that.
Yeah, so I've always kind of had an affinity for energy. I've been working with crystals and my own energy. I've done Reiki, also pranic healing, but I've got involved with frequency-based medical devices. So been using a number of devices for almost 6 years now, 5.5 years, and it's just amazing what frequency can do. It's powerful. It's non-invasive. It's holistic. It's natural. It's a great way to kind of tune your body. I have tuning forks. I love kind of like what you're doing with the 432 hertz.
And who introduced me to that?
Ah, yeah, that's right.
You did.
But it's powerful, and at the very least, it can, like, even with like the 432, it can relax you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put you in that state of mind where now you're more receptive. Your body is in that receiving state, kind of more rest and digest versus fight or flight, and that allows your body to heal. So yeah, it's very, very powerful, and everything is frequency, energy, or vibration. So it just makes sense, and it's been going forward. I think it will become more prevalent in society because more and more people are starting to understand that frequency and vibration is what it's about. So
yeah, and we're going to talk more about that and how really it shows up in everybody's life daily today and has for probably a couple of decades, and they just didn't put the two together.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to see if I can share the screen. So forgive me, my face is going to get really close because all the icons are like 0.8 point type right now on my screen.
Right.
So I'm going to be really silly looking like, but you can see all my pretty lights. Let's see. So I can do a clear screen. All right. YouTube. Here we go. Oh, no, cancel. That's not the right one. So we're going to go share screen. I think this is share screen. Yep. And there we go. Let's see. Let's see if we get this right. This is a close-up nobody ever wanted. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now I just picked this one. It's Meditative Mind, 432 hertz. And we're just going to play this, and we'll take everybody through a meditation this morning just to get your morning going just a little smoother than mine, just saying. So let's so find a comfortable place to sit. Put your hands by your side and your feet on the floor. Your feet flat on the floor. Okay. And now that you found a comfortable place, if you need a pillow to put behind your back or whatever, make sure you're comfortable. Close your eyes and breathe in through your nose. Hold it for 3 and breathe out through your nose. Repeat that 3 more times. Okay. That should center your body. Start to center your body. And I always like to call in my spirit guides. And so let's call in our spirit guides. Source, spirit guides. Please join us in welcoming the universe to a beautiful, beautiful morning. Let's all rise up to meet the day. I feel my spirit guides are directing their energy in my heart. That if your spirit guides are with you, you'll feel the peace and calm and serenity in your heart. If you don't, that's okay. They are. So we want to release any energy from our bodies that no longer serves us. Any negative energy from my crown chakra, release that and transmute that up to source. We're going to clear the third eye and transmute any negative energy up to source and replace it with white divine light. And then just feel God's white divine light flow over every organ, tissue, and cell in your body. And now, let's ground ourselves. Go ahead and imagine your legs are like tree trunks. And they're connected to the earth's core. You are part of this earth. Your feet are the roots. And your toes extend those roots into the earth's core. So feel the roots growing into the earth's core, keeping you grounded, steady, and conscious of all the beautiful things that God is sending your way today. You are loved. You are cherished. The world supports you. The world supports you and what you're up to today. And everyone. So feel your shoulders and relax them. the breath. Make sure you're breathing through your nose. Make it a breath that works for you. Hold it longer if you like. Release. I like to alternate. I breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. And sometimes I breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. You want to get that oxygen to your brain. Plus, there. Happy brain. So go ahead and feel your shoulders, feel your arms, relax your arms, feel God's light traveling through your shoulders, the back of your neck, and through your arms. If there's any negative energy in there, let it go. Transmute that up to source. Just kind of let it wash away out of your body. Up to the divine. Look to God. No longer surrender. Love your body. Love your mind. Love yourself. Love your soul. You're exactly who you're supposed to be. Okay, we're going down to the root chakra. If there's any negative energy in there, being called to clear any of that energy that's in there, transmute that up to source, and replace anything that we've removed with God's white divine light. Wow, that feels good. And then let's just make sure we breathe. Breathe through our nose. Love your brain. Give your brain all the oxygen. All right. And then we're going to count from 7 down to 0. And then we're going to end our brief meditation. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Go ahead and open your eyes and move the day. And I will stop healing. Good morning.
Good morning. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to give you the lead next time.
Oh, my Lord. All right. So how's your morning coming along so far?
It is. It's good. I got my coffee too. It's fine. Laden with all my mushrooms in it, right?
Nice.
I have my mushroom coffee, right?
I heard that, and I met a lady the other night that's all she does. So mushroom coffee, she swears by it. And yeah, you'll have to share more about that, actually. It's because I don't think many people know about that.
Yeah, so mushrooms are the world's, powerful superfood. And I have no less than 5 different mushrooms every day. They keep me, they help me to de-stress. I have a chart, and I don't have it with me. And if anybody is interested in learning more about mushrooms, I can send you either a PDF or something in the mail about it. But I have a chart of every single mushroom, not every single, but about 10 different mushrooms. And it says what each one does. And most of them support your immune system. All of them help you reduce your stress levels.
Mhm.
And we all know that, well, no, I guess we don't all know. Let me cancel, right?
Right.
When you are stressed, you are depleting your immune system, which is why I chose to start the show in the mornings with meditation. It allows people to, have a good start to their day, right? Actually, a fantastic start to their day.
Right.
But mushrooms, I mean, they keep me centered. They clear my body of what it doesn't need, any toxins. And I use them in a powdered form. And I take about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of each of the different mushrooms. My favorite, cordyceps, does just about everything. They're antiviral, antimicrobial. Some of them are anti-tumor. I believe reishi has a lot of anti-cancer properties, and the FDA is not going to approve any of those statements. Let me just say that, and they're not going to do that because it's we don't. It's not a pharmaceutical, right? So
It's a food, right? They can't patent it.
no, can't patent food. Raj, and I know this is going off. We're supposed to be talking about energy, but why don't we? We're also going to. Why don't we just segue just for, let's see, it's 7:26. So for a few minutes, there's a website. I know there's a mushroom that supports the world, and I know you've told me about it. And if you want to tell me what to look up, I'll let you talk about it, and I'll bring it up on the screen so people can see it. Do you want to tell me where to Google?
Yeah, you can look it up. It's the world's largest organism, and it's the biggest living thing on the planet is a mushroom. Believe it or not, and it covers like miles or acres. I think it's out in Oregon somewhere.
Yep,
So
just about 2,385 acres.
Yeah, I mean it's huge. So this is the world's largest living organism on the planet. And it's a network of mushrooms that cover a massive span of land. But mushrooms, I think, were here before we were, and I'm sure they were, and actually I know they were. But they're an integral part of our living ecosystem, and they serve a purpose, and they're here, and they aid us. And I think mushrooms have been used for ages, and including the mushrooms that have some psychedelic properties, right, to enlighten humanity on who they are and their connection to the world. And that's why
I found it. Hold on. So let me just. I'm gonna see if I can do the share screen. Oh, here goes me having to look again because this thing's still 8-point type. So there we go. So at least I'm getting better at this. Okay, so I think this is the one you want to see. Let's see here. Is that it?
let me see. Well, that's part of it, but
it's part of it. It's big.
It's also what's underneath the ground, so it's a network of. But yeah, I mean, some of these mushrooms can get massive, and it's a living network of one organism. It's just all connected to each other.
Well, I'm seeing if I can. Looks like I can. Let me see here. there's the article on it, and it doesn't look like we're sharing that screen. So let me go. I did just find it. So. And then we're going to go to the Chrome tab. Here we go. Is that the one you're looking for? Oregon's giant largest organism?
Yeah, so that's the article on it, but that's not really a really true reflection of what it is. But it's a nice picture because it just gives you, because most people when they think of a mushroom, they're thinking of a small little thing
right.
that grows on your grass or something.
Yeah,
right?
These small ones right here.
Right, but when you go back to that top picture, I mean, that thing is ginormous, but that's even like tiny compared to what actually exists on the ground. I mean, it's probably mentioned in the article there. What's the acreage that it covers? That particular.
I thought it was like 20. So let's see. I'll go ahead and do some reading. So, well, first of all, it's kind of cute. It says, "What is larger than a whale and bigger than an elephant? A mushroom." So somebody's got a good sense of humor. It's a honey mushroom, and let's see, it covers 3,000. Well, actually, the other one said it was like 2,600 acres or something like that. This other number is so large I can't even. And it's 3,726563 M2 of the National Forest, and I don't even know what that M2 is. M2 squared or something, but basically. It's huge, right? But you were saying before, it fills the network of the Earth.
Right. Well, they serve a purpose, right? So part of what they do are you have, so everything is cyclical, right? So you have life and death and that decomposition, right? And they play an integral role in cleaning out the Earth, so to speak. As things die off, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have things like fungi. You have organisms that come in as well that decompose everything, kind of bring it back to the earth, and it's like a renewal process. And so it's part of the renewal process that the planet has.
Yep.
And obviously you got to be careful with mushrooms because some mushrooms are poisonous. So don't just go out picking random mushrooms.
Oh, God forbid, right?
Right. So you got to know what you're doing. And then they have psychedelic mushrooms. They got mushrooms that you could just eat, that are just good for you. Lion's mane, as an example, is actually a great mushroom for brain health, right? And it improves memory and really supports the brain. So there's lots of uses for mushrooms, and there are enthusiasts around the world that just sit there and love mushrooms, and they go out of their way to go find the right mushroom and all that. But it's just another powerful tool that we have, and it's another blessing that we have on this planet, and we should all be thankful for mushrooms.
Awesome. So what we're going to do, it's 7:32. I'm going to close the screen. We'll run a couple commercials, right? Mm-hmm. And let's see if I can do that. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about plants. There's still mushrooms a plant. We're going to talk about plants and energy and things like that. And let's see if we got here. Let's see.
Do you or your organization need space for events? Call the Corey Event Center at 2423 East 75th Street in Chicago for your parties, banquets, award ceremonies, repasses, concerts, and business seminars. Available 7 days a week. Now under new management. Call us at the Corey at 773-663-2557. That's 773-663-2557.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. Hi, I'm Naimah Latif. Join me and my co-host Kareem Hamid every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the Female Solution Radio Show, as we explore that relationship that is the foundation for our society, the relationship between men and women, husbands and wives. Join our discussion as we seek to repair broken family ties and rebuild our community. Listen online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to our host. Or you can join us live on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Hi, I'm Jodi Suson with Suson Essentials. I started Suson Essentials in 2015 because of a personal health journey. I was over-medicated and put on 19 different medications. And yes, I reversed all my chronic diseases using plant and energy-based healing. It was amazing. At Suson Essentials, we support both consumers and businesses. And we do that with helping your employees or yourself with a food as medicine mindset. How Suson Essentials supports businesses and consumers is we teach people about a food as medicine mindset. So we support people on how to support their own immune system, how to support their brain health, how to support their emotional well-being. And we do that all with plant and an energy-based healing.
All right, we are back. So I'm actually going to do a little commercial outside of the commercials. So I met this amazing farmer. He's in Wisconsin, and he has organic peppermint farms. His farm has been in business since 1857. And, he does more than peppermint, right? So I think lavender, he does hemp seed, terpene. But this one, it's peppermint oil, and it's in like a little nose thing. Get your morning on. It's like, do your meditation, you're calm. Now you're a little alert. Gonna go run, take a whiff of, this guy's, it's a Good Earth, Grandpa's Good Earth peppermint. So I'm now alert. Just saying.
Yeah, I need some of that.
Well, I will get you some, Consider that done. So we want to talk about when you walk into a room, right? And the energy's off. And some wise person told me a while ago that when you are having an argument with someone, I don't know if you know this, Raj, but when you're having an argument with somebody, that energy actually sticks to your walls.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so when somebody, let's say, a friend of yours comes in, they walk into your home, and the energy feels off. Why? Because the argument's sticking to the wall. The energy, the negative energy of that argument is sticking to the wall.
The residue's still there.
The residue, right? And that's a great word, because I think we have to think about what is. It's kind of like if you strained an ankle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much fixed, let's say, your body healed itself, but there's kind of like that residue, that underlying thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's the same thing?
Yeah, I would say it's similar. I mean, so I mean, frequency is a thing, right? Energy is a thing, just like anything else. Just like, you know, you spill coffee on your floor, you know, and it's got sugar and cream in there, right? If you don't clean it up, okay, there's going to be a residue. If you don't clean it up properly, it's no different. It's just on a different vibrational level, so to speak. It's just not as physical,
Right.
but it's a thing.
So why don't you explain energy relative to, I think, everybody in the world can get. We have key fobs, a lot of us, for our car, right?
Yeah.
To open the doors, to start the car and warm it up. Explain that energy relative to frequencies and things like that, if you will.
Well, maybe you've heard the saying, you know, if a tree falls in the forest, and no one's there to hear it, did it actually happen? Did it make a sound?
Yeah.
Did it make a sound?
Did it make it sound? Yeah, it made a sound.
Well, no, but actually it didn't make a sound. If no one is there to actually perceive the sound, because sound is not, it doesn't exist on its own. Sound is a relationship between something or someone or some entity that's perceiving it through a mechanism that allows you to pick up a vibration in the air and convert it into sound.
Okay.
Right? So without an eardrum, there's no sound. There's a vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a frequency.
Oh, without having the eardrum present to hear the sound,
there is no sound.
It's just a frequency in the air.
It's just a vibration in the air. So what converts it into sound? So sound is a relationship between someone or something that's alive that can perceive it, that has an eardrum, that has a mechanism that allows it to take in that information.
Beautiful. Right? Okay, so keep going.
So we're using frequency. You're you know, when you speak, it's a vibration that you're pushing out into the air, and this mechanism over here picks it up and converts it. That eardrum picks it up and it converts it, and then so that is the essence of what frequency is. I mean, we are using it daily in everything that we do. We're just not aware of it all the time, right? But that's what it is. It's a frequency, energy, or vibration. So our emotions are that as well. Our thoughts, our speech. When we speak, we're moving. So there's a mechanism, for instance, here on my computer that picks up that vibration in the air, converts it, sends it to you, rebroadcasts that vibration. I mean, think of how a speaker works, right? It's a vibration. And that vibration goes into the air and is picked up by your eardrum and is converted back.
So, since everything's vibration, doesn't it make sense to make sure that we're vibrating at a level that creates harmony?
Yeah, absolutely. We have control over certain elements of our own vibrational states. You know, if we're angry, we put out a certain field. We put out a certain quality of frequency that goes out into the air, or that goes out into the field that other people can pick up on. I mean, we've all, you know, been around someone who's pissed off or upset or sad, and we pick up on it. Oftentimes it's almost automatic, and they don't have to say a thing, right?
Well, and that's really spot on, right? And I think everyone who's listening can understand when you walk into a room where two people have been arguing. right? The energy's off.
You could feel it. It's thick, right?
Yeah.
It's like a heavy energy.
So what do you do, Raj, if you walk in to an area where the energy is off because these two people have just been arguing? What do you do to protect your energy, like that? And I want to talk about our medical devices, but assuming these people don't have them yet, what can they do? And then let's talk about what's also possible, if that's okay.
Sure. So some of the things I do is just be very, very conscientious of the energy in the room. I can clear that energy, right? And you can learn how to do that. But if you don't know how to do that, you know what? You could change the energy yourself just by maybe, cracking a joke, right? Or being that force that's intentional about being lighthearted and just influencing the room, right? Because it's all energetic play. And as you come in and you start to work with that energy, you could transmute it, right? If you let it kind of move you in and kind of let it bring you into its own resonance, then you're going to get caught in the trap of that negative energy. But you could also choose to transcend that just by you deciding, hey, I'm going to bring a lighter, cleaner, funner energy to the room, right? Or maybe an energy that's more a lighter energy, right? So you're choosing and then you're putting out, right? Because your heart, as an example, puts out a field. And it puts out a field around you. And so you could influence the people around you by your own kind of your own emotional state that you take responsibility for.
So when you clear a room, I mean, I know you can turn on music, right? You can crack a joke. What else do you do to clear a room? I have a few things, but I'd like you to go first.
So, I mean, I have tools. I have things like selenite, which I really like, but also I can just clear it with my hand. I mean, I've been attuned to Reiki.
Is there selenite on there now?
No, he's upstairs.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
Yeah. But it's a great way to really clear energy. So I recommend people have some of that in their home, and it's cheap. It's something just to have, and you could feel it. Like if you just kind of put it towards your chest, oftentimes you'll start to feel just that relaxation that comes through. And so, but we can change energy very easily. We actually do it all the time. We just don't know we're doing it, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So we're always putting information into the field, and we're contributing, but we're not conscious of it. So really, how we become good at clearing is when we become more conscious of what we're doing and what our intention is, right?
Yes.
So if your intention is, hey, let me bring in a funner, more loving vibration. Let me clear this out. You can do that with your intention, your mind, your heart. And so it's just tuning that and just being aware of that powerful tool that you have at your disposal that we rarely ever use, right?
Well, yeah, and I only started learning this, probably 7 years ago. And I lived in a house that, as you know, that had, I don't know, maybe 9 portals, and there was a lot of energy that wasn't necessarily great, and you had spirits coming in and out. And so I had to become a pro clearing energy,
Right.
asking people or entities to leave. Bye-bye.
Right. It's like Grand Central Station, it sounds like.
It was. So you know what I used? I have to tell you, because that's a lot to maintain, right? So I used essential oils. So I know I have a lot of oiler friends, and I'm not sure what I have here. I brought a few today, but I used this is lemon essential oil, and it actually helps raise the vibration of the home.
Yeah.
And let's say It's a great oil. I love this.
Yeah.
And I mix it with like a coconut oil. Just get a clean one, and you can apply it together on a rag, right? And wipe down the wood in the house. But if you don't have that kind of time because you've walked into an office, I just take the oil. I can put it on my wrist, right? And you're doing it to yourself, right? So hopefully nobody's going to argue about a scent. It's not like it's perfume and toxic, but eventually someone else is going to get a waft of that lemon, which is very uplifting.
Yeah.
That's the short version. Right?
Well, I got to tell you, I prefer that over like cologne and stuff like that. I know a few people that like, they overdo the cologne deal or even the perfume. And oh my Lord, like I don't even know how they do it. Cause like when I get around them, like, especially if it's like in a car or something, like in a small confined space, I'm like, I can barely breathe. I'm like nauseous. I'm about to throw up. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
You know why I'm laughing so hard?
Yeah.
Because I was that person.
Oh, were you really? That's funny.
So back in the day, my boyfriend like laughs at me because he'll say something. I used to work in that industry. I used to work in that industry. It's like, what industry didn't you work in? Like, well, that's how God taught me stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when I was in college, I was a spritzer girl. Okay. So I would work at like, for like, I don't know, like from 3 hours. I was at DePaul University. And then on my break, I would go to Marshall Fields. And for 3 hours, I would be the spritzer girl. And I would spritz Paloma Picasso fragrance. And you're layering the lotion on first, and then you're spraying the perfume. Now this was really a good learning experience. I'm gonna segue just for a second. What I learned like years ago was the importance of putting on like a lotion, a cream, or an oil first on skin.
So it just doesn't get into the skin?
Yeah, it gets it. It's so because this is a volatile organic compound, so it's going to flash off.
Right.
So you have to give it something to sink into. So it's kind of what we did, back in the day with our perfumes and our lotions. And I was dating a guy, and this is like after 9/11, because I had lost my job. I was, working for a major airline, and then of course 9/11, right? I was doing their advertising, and so I take the first job I can get, right? Because you need to put bread on the table,
right?
And what was my new favorite? Oh, Coco Chanel, right? Walk in to his house after work, and I had lathered. I don't mean like just a little touch of Coco Chanel, which is potent on its own, okay?
Yeah.
Lathered.
Wow.
Lathered. He was like, "Okay, now need a shower." People, there's not a mistake I haven't made, which is why I do this show. Like, you got to give yourself grace about all the hiccups that you make, okay? Because we've all done it.
That's too funny.
It was really.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Do you think maybe that was a contributing factor to your health issues?
Oh, huge. Yeah. So thank you for asking, Raj.
Yeah.
The health issues. So for the listening audience that doesn't know, I was sick for a couple decades. Actually, all my life, really, but I'm over medicated for a couple of decades on 19 medications, where I almost died in 2013 after both parents passed 18 months apart. And stress combined with being on 19 medications, like that's just not a good recipe for success, right? And what I uncovered was the impact of chemicals on my body, right? So think about, let's go to something simple for the listening audience who has children. If you give them sugar, what do? Right, Raj?
Yeah.
Boing, right? That's a chemical. It's a chemical of sorts, right?
Right.
And it lights up 8 pleasure centers in the brain. And it's more addictive than cocaine. And knowing what I know now, and I wouldn't have said this years ago, but I want to say that I think there's a possibility that sugar could be more damaging than cocaine because, first of all, it's more readily available. People are consuming it daily in all their processed foods, and it's killing you. It's a silent killer. So I was a skinny fat person, right? It means I was skinny, but all my organs were fat because I was consuming Hostess Ho-Hos and Ding Dongs and all that before a workout. And then I would lather on all those chemicals, right? I'd put on my perfume, my lipstick, my eyeshadow. And, actually, so I use a vegan lipstick and the label came off, but this is Fetish Lips. So I have a girlfriend who makes lipstick for Black women, for women of color, right? And this is I think black girl nude. It has no chemicals.
Nice.
Yeah, her name is Robin Wheeler, and for those people who are looking for good clean lipstick, she's got every color on the planet. I just like black girl nude because I'm kind of simple, but she's got all those fun colors. And so, Raj, to your point, when you're putting on all that fragrance, it takes 20 seconds for it to get into your brain, right, into your limbic system. And it takes 30 seconds for it to get into your bloodstream.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. And not just, like things like fragrances, like, what do you call it? Cologne and perfume, but also makeup, skincare. A lot of that skincare that women are using is very toxic as well, and that's why I love like what we're working with this new age company. They have skincare that's very, very clean,
Yep.
that doesn't have any of the negative chemicals that all the other companies are using, right? From the highest, most expensive skincare to the cheap ones that you buy from Walgreens and Walmart or wherever you might buy it. But so we're lathering chemicals on us all the time, from our soaps to our shampoos to our makeup and skincare and perfume, and it's a toxic load that builds up, and people need to, first of all, become more aware of what's in what the products that they're using, right?
Well, yeah. And then what about your air freshener? So I have my diffuser, and this morning I think I put in rosemary, frankincense. So rosemary's for mental acuity, frankincense to keep a meditative state, and then I put in lemon essential oil to keep me uplifted. I'm very intentional about what I do. And so I just put it in this diffuser, and imagine using that versus an air freshener that causes cancer. Right?
Yeah, the little deals that they have, the little wall socket deals that they have.
Or the spray. It's all, they all cause cancer. And when people are, and it shifts your energy, right? So, I mean, and that's why I always say, this is always about plant and energy-based healing. Because if you don't know what you're exposing yourself to, like you said, and the new company that we're working with, has access to good, clean fun. And I don't even know, I mean, like I know, and I don't know if the new age carries this, and I'm sure they do, but I mean, and I work with different companies and, not selling, but if you're washing your dishes, like with your basic thing that you get at the counter, like, I don't know, what list a few, Palmolive, Dawn, or whatever, those are chemicals, right? And you're washing, if you're not wearing gloves, That's a bad thing. And even if you are wearing gloves, you're still inhaling it. So again, 20 seconds to the brain, 30 seconds to the bloodstream.
Right.
So that's just, you're really increasing your toxic load.
Yep. In many ways, right? It's coming in from every direction. And no wonder, so many people are not feeling well, right? I mean, autoimmune conditions are skyrocketing through the roof. Cancer is out of control. I mean, we're seeing this across the globe. That metabolic syndrome X, right?
Mm-hmm.
With diabetes is running rampant through the population, and yeah, I mean, we're kind of in bad shape as a society, and we have to get back to the basics and take back ownership and responsibility of what we do in our home, what we put into our bodies. And does it work? Does it take a little education? Absolutely. But look, you know what? If you don't do it, then where are you going to be?
Well, right, exactly. So, and actually, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to plug myself for a moment. Sorry. I designed, so because of my health journey, and finding out how chemically sensitive I was, I'm the canary in the coal mine. And then I took for 7 years, I took this test once a year, called Cell Science.
Mm.
And Cell Science it's a food sensitivity test called LCAT. And they're actually going to be on the show, I think in April. And it measures inflammation. And not only for foods, but for chemicals. So you can see what ibuprofen's doing for your body, right? And it's supposed to be an anti-inflammatory. But if you've had trauma and you've taken that, now it's causing inflammation versus getting rid of it. And so in 2018, before all the viruses came around, I created a program called the Functional Food Program. And I teach people about how to use your food as medicine and how to reduce your toxic load, right? How to identify which items are sugar, because there's 70 different names for sugar, right? So, and when people think, oh, it's sugar free, well, it's really not. Because go ahead.
Well, I got to tell you, the sugar free is even worse than the sugar, in my opinion, right? Because now you're dealing with synthetic sugar, so to speak, and that's even worse than the natural sugar. So.
What does it do for you? What does your synthetic sugars do for you? Because I don't think everybody knows.
Yeah, people are using things like Sweet and Low and all these other sugar alternatives, and there's some good ones out there, but most of what people are using, right, are not very good for you. And again, they're essentially genetically modified, in many cases, sugar, and so they actually will oftentimes are a neurotoxin. If you think of aspartame as an example, right? Aspartame is used in all kinds of products.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And that stuff
is upstairs, I think. Can you hear that over there or no?
What?
Can you hear the background noise over here or no?
I didn't hear that. No.
Oh, you can't hear it. Go ahead. So aspartame is in a lot of our products. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a artificial sweetener, but it's a neurotoxin. Some people actually, there's a segment of the population that absolutely cannot have this stuff, right? Because if they do, I mean, some people will die from it, right? And other people, they go into, they actually, their system will start to shut down. They can't breathe, and their heart rate goes up. All that stuff, right? And the company that created this this aspartame was connected to, actually, I believe it was Cyril is the name of the company, but they were a division of Monsanto under the guidance of none other than Donald Rumsfeld, back in the 80s or
That I
something.
didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the first time they went to get approval from the FDA, they were rejected because of how toxic it was. So they have like a panel. They have a panel of like experts or doctors or scientists, and they reviewed the information. They're like, hell no, we don't put this in our food. So what they did is they got Ronald Reagan to expand the panel and bring in their own people, right? So they brought in additional people onto the panel who were already in their pocket. Okay, and then they took it back for review again, and this time it got passed and it got approved, and now it's ubiquitous in all our food. And that's why I don't chew gum anymore, because most of the gum, every gum, it's got aspartame. I look at it and I'm like, all right, it's got that. I ain't touching it. And people start to get migraines. They actually, I think there have been cases of people who've died because of their chewing gum. Because they're addicted to this, and it's addictive too. So they're addicted to chewing gum, and they're one of these people that just absolutely shouldn't be taking aspartame or using aspartame, and they just eventually just. So these are alternatives that really are not good. I mean, you're better off with the sugar, okay, than that. So not advocating sugar.
I know you're not advocating sugar, but you're also not advocating poison. Right?
Sure. So there's a scale. There's bad, okay, good, best, right? And so there's always that scale. And I would say aspartame is bad, and sugar is better, but not necessarily good. But definitely on
right. Great distinction. Excellent distinction to make.
Right.
And it's just really interesting to me. It's I don't want to lie to anybody. It's not easy to start becoming a label reader, right? It's just not easy. But if you don't become a label reader for those things that you purchase that need labels, right? Your processed foods, your makeup, your, whatever, your skincare, your soap. If you don't read this and know what you're consuming a toxin. Guess what, guys? Garbage in, garbage out, right? Then you're pushing out toxins. And not just through your skin like I had. I have scars on my body from all the hives that I had. Mm-hmm. I was a toxic person. Think about it. Toxins in, toxins out. Toxins in, toxins out. Right?
If it can get it out. So sometimes your body will just store it in your fat. And that's where you get that visceral fat, right? Around your organs or whatever it is, right? Your body's just trying to protect you. And if it can't get rid of it, it'll store it. It says, okay, we just need to sequester this, whatever this is, because we don't want it just floating around, right?
You are amazing. Thank you. Right? Yeah. So let's talk about that. First of all, brain. How much fat does it have? Do you know?
It's mainly fat. Yeah, it's the majority of it's fat.
70%.
Yeah.
The jury's out, right? So maybe someone's got 75, 65, whatever.
Sure.
A lot of fat people. So if you're putting toxins in your body, and we know that synthetics are stored in fat cells, guess where it's going first, Dolly?
Yeah. Wow.
Into your body. Then women, we got boobs, right?
Right.
You're next. You wonder why breast cancer is so high? Think about that. Where is it storing those fat? Where are those synthetics getting stored?
Right.
Right? I mean, the list goes on. And then the visceral fat, your belly fat, what Raj was talking about, visceral fat is the fat on your belly. It just lays there. Mm. I have a story to tell. You know me, I have like 50 million stories, right?
Right.
So when I was first misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder back in 1997, and I was a bodybuilder, I had never seen fat, never seen fat on me. Okay. I had ripped abs. Again, I was a skinny fat person. And they put me on all these medications. My brain went haywire, and meaning that I was sleeping majority of the day. And then I would wake up and I was on my mother's couch and I had a box of cereal on the floor. So I would roll over, grab the box of cereal, shovel the food in my mouth. Now, this is a new behavior for me, right? Because I'm skinny and maybe I don't eat good, but I certainly don't shovel food in my mouth, right?
Right.
Because my brain didn't have that turn off button anymore. Because whatever it was that I was taking shifted my brain's ability to control my body, to control every organ, tissue, and cell. So I wake up and I'm laying down and I look down and I see this thing on my stomach that I've never recognized. It was fat.
That's funny.
Like, what's this? And the thing is, like, I don't really take myself too seriously. Anyone who knows me, like, you know, I have a beached whale story when I fell at work, and the whole big thing of paint, juice green paint, went all over my entire body.
Wow.
Yeah, and I couldn't get up off the floor because of this puddle of, and I'm big. I'm 234 pounds, right? And I'm not a small girl at that time. And, you know, and like, there's no judgment on me, no judgment on you if you're in that weight category. I don't care, not going there. But the point is I couldn't get up. So my boss takes a tarp, okay, and he puts it on me, underneath me, to roll me over so he can get my butt up.
Wow.
Because you would slip. It was a slip floor.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I was laughing about it so hard because it was funny. And so I think, you know, and I guess I just want to keep tying this back to energy. Like, I could have been in an upset about it, right? I could have cried about it. I could have said, oh, it ruined my clothes. I could have said, oh, I'm so fat. No, it was flippin' funny.
That is pretty funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can choose, and you talked about this like a little while ago. You can choose how you want to shift the energy in a room.
Yeah, it's up to us.
Yes. So laugh at yourself and laugh out loud.
Right.
Yeah. Better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like the best story, and I don't even have one picture for it. So.
Oh man, no, but yeah, that's a great story. Yeah, that's such it's a unique story, right? Because it's like, you know, how often does something like that happen? And the visual is brilliant. Because yeah, that's pretty cool. But thanks for sharing that, because that's actually I didn't know that one.
I know that story. Not people do. The people that worked with me, Andrew knows it. You know, and now the rest of the world. So there you go.
Wow. Very nice.
So,
absolutely.
You were going to say something, though. Go ahead.
No, I mean, absolutely. You know, just having that light heart about yourself and not taking yourself too seriously, I think, is important. You know, yeah, I tend to be, you know, naturally just kind of how I'm wired. I think I tend to be more of a serious person. You know, so that's something that I'm learning, that I need to just kind of just take it. You know, just be more lighthearted about, like, as I move through the world. And so I've had to learn that, and I definitely work on that, right? Because that's something that doesn't come naturally to me, I don't think. So.
Well, and, you know, I don't know that it comes naturally to anyone, but that was my training growing up. My father was so funny. So he used to chase my mother around the house.
Yeah.
So he would get a paper plate. He'd fill it with whipped cream. Yeah. And he would chase her around the house to get it into her face, right? You know, or we would put water buckets over the door so that when you open the door, you know, the water came crashing down.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we just had a funny family, you know. So, you know, it was like, you know, because life is too long, peeps, to take it too seriously, right?
True, very true. Absolutely. So, too short, you mean?
Yeah. Well, and some days it feels too long.
That's right.
Sorry.
Well, that's the thing. If you take it too seriously, it seems too damn long, right? Because it's like when you're having a bad day or when you're going through a moment, time, the perception of time like slows down. It's like, oh my Lord. And I remember being in a car accident, where I flipped the car doing about 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
And it felt like an eternity. Everything just slowed down. It was like, shh, right? But when you're having a horrible time, it just takes too damn long, right? So you switch it up and it just flies by, right? But in a good way.
In a good way, right. Well, and it's interesting, and I won't lie. I mean, do we have somebody else we have Naimah here. Naimah.
Oh, okay. She's here.
So invite our executive producer. Maybe. Naimah, you want to come on board? Are you ready for me? I can't even see you barely, so I'm hoping you're nodding yes. And if not, I'll take you out, okay?
Yes.
My screen, like you guys, like the so we're using StreamYard for the listening public so you all can follow this. It has little, like icons of us to bring us in or out of the show. And they're about 8 point right now, 8 point type. Well, I'm just kind of go with the flow. And you guys get close-ups of my forehead, and that is just how it is.
You're taking screenshots.
There you go.
Good morning, Naimah. How are you?
Good morning. How are you, Raj? Good to see you again.
Yeah, grand rising.
Grand
Your beautiful smile.
So, and it's interesting. Naimah explained to me what grand rising meant because I said, I'm saying grand rising. I really don't even know what I'm saying.
Take it away, Naimah.
Yeah, take it away. Tell us what that means. Tell the listening public because I don't think everybody knows the beauty behind that.
Well, of course, after you have been asleep and you rise, it is a greeting to say it's good that you have arisen from your sleep, and you have arisen to another day of life. And it is, I guess, more than good morning. It is celebrating the fact that you arose to another day of life. So, and it'd be grand. So grand rising.
Very nice. So more of a celebration.
Yes, more of a celebration that you did wake up. I remember my father used to always say, it's a blessing to be on this side of the dirt. So
right.
On the other side, you didn't rise. So, yes, it's good to see another day of life and to rise up from your sleep and have a great awakening and be among those who are walking the earth. So grand rising.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the awakening. Right?
Sorry. I'm just going to give the phone number real quick and let you go back, Raj. So I just want to make sure everyone knows if they want to call in, just dial. So 515, it's going on the screen, but for those listening, 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak, call in, ask a question for Raj, Naimah, or myself. And Raj, go ahead. Sorry. Unmute yourself, Dolly.
I have a question for Raj. I was really fascinated when you talked about the energy that's residual energy in a place when people have had an argument or said some unkind things to each other and the residual impact of that. And you think of all day that you're going in and out of places where people have left energy that is not positive. If you go into a bar after there's been a fight, or going to a place after somebody's been arrested, or just all kinds of things, how do you cleanse your energy at the end of the day? And I think of people who have really stressful jobs like police officers, where you're seeing the worst of people all day long, or doctors where you're seeing sick people, distressed people. Just all day you're absorbing the energy of people and the negative energy. So at the end of the day, when you go home, how do you actually cleanse your energy so you don't bring that with you and have that part of your aura when you come in the door?
Absolutely. So a couple tricks. So one thing, let's say you had a rough day or busy day at work or whatever it is, or you've had some stuff that you've dealt with. First of all, when you get home, before you go inside, take 5-10 minutes in your car, to decompress, maybe do a little breath work, a little meditation before you walk in. Process whatever it is that you have to, whatever your day was about, right? Before you go in and deal with your family. Leave, the work behind, process it, give yourself that space, and then go. So I think that's very important. That's just a very easy kind of trick to kind of like have a breaker between that life and this life, right? Because oftentimes we bring them together, and we've all heard of like, they had a horrible day at work and they come in, they're pissed off and angry and this and this and that, and it affects the relationship in the house, right? Okay. Then there's absolutely, oils are amazing tools, right? So having tools like that to kind of reset, to kind of just reset the energy, right, within yourself. But things like meditation, even just taking a shower, right? Come home, take a shower, wash off. So water is powerful. Water is amazing.
That's a good idea.
Thing.
Shower when you come home. Wash right away.
Oh, for sure.
But then as you're taking the shower, also having that intention that the shower is cleansing you energetically, not just physically. So it becomes like a ritual.
So do you recommend some maybe visual imagery kind of work to, cast away the vibes of the day, seeing yourself cleansed, or,
absolutely.
Flow away from you.
Bringing in those energies that reset the system. You could even just imagine the water, coming off your body and just cleaning everything, right? Just kind of dissolving, right? Because that's what water does. It's a solvent, right? It just dissolves stuff into it, right? And washes it away. And so use that imagery to help you kind of reset your energetic body.
Now, another question. If you know you're going into a place where the energy is negative, maybe you're going to a place where something distressful is happening. Maybe you're visiting a relative and you need to help them cope with a crisis. How do you bring positive energy to change the atmosphere that you're going into?
Well, you have to prepare yourself to come in at a high vibration. Right? Get into a meditation with 432 hertz. Do a little breath work, some gratitude, right? Get deep into gratitude, and then walk in with that. But then you could also have little tools, right? Like little black stones, as an example, are good for protection, right? So black tourmaline, things like shungite or obsidian, right, are all colors that help to protect. So black stones are very good for protection, but there's other stones as well. Have something on that. But really the biggest thing is you coming in intentionally with that and raising your own vibration, but anchored in gratitude more than anything else. Gratitude should be the attitude that you should be in all the time.
So your thoughts are important. It sounds like, Jodi, what he's saying, of course, we talk about this all the time, the thoughts that you're carrying vibrations. So if you have to go into somebody and maybe they're already tense, you have to project thoughts that are of a high vibration.
So Naimah, real quick, I say not just the thoughts, feel the thoughts.
Feel the thoughts.
Yes.
Feel the thoughts. Okay. That connection between here and here is really where it becomes powerful. Because look, our brain puts out a field, right? But our heart does too. The field that the heart puts out is 5,000 times stronger than the field that the brain puts out.
Wow.
So when you feel it, it's much more powerful, it's potent. people respond to it. They respond to that in a much better way than they respond to a thought.
So a feeling. So you have to create a feeling.
Create the
Going
feeling.
places.
Absolutely.
That is amazing.
Well, and let's go back to the gratitude part too, because, you know, every night before I go to bed, I list a minimum of 3 things that I'm grateful for, even on the bad days. And I find like the bad things or the things I didn't want in my life that I'm grateful for them. Why? They're a teaching moment for me. And I choose.
Wow. That's challenging, getting into that frame of mind, because most of the time, if you don't have something, you're disappointed, or you have the energy of resentment, or so how do you train yourself to create the feeling that you want, so that you create the vibration you want?
Oh, that's mindset. That's a whole nother show. But yeah, mindset. But actually, I think shifting the mindset, this is a great segue into something I wanted to make sure I show everybody. So it's how you train, Naimah, and we could do a whole show on this, and we will. It's about shifting your mindset and being aware about what you do and how you show up, right? And how it impacts others. So let me show you exactly what that looks like. Give me a minute. So there's gonna be a little bit background noise.
Still wasting valuable time writing and sending checks to vendors each month? Then listen up.
So we're skipping the ad. So this is about, just to bring everybody into the fold, this is about bullying. Okay. And what is bullying? Anything, I mean, you're yelling at someone, right? And when you yell at somebody, you actually shift the chemical makeup of their brain, their body, their cells.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm going to show you what it does to plants. So let's all watch this. Oops, I have to press it on the other side. Oopsie. So for the radio often listeners, they're saying to the plant, you can look green. They're saying negative things to the plants.
Wow.
And then the other one, they're saying really nice, complimentary things.
Wow.
And the bullying plant, the plant that got bullied, just withered away.
Wow, that is powerful.
So how devastating are your words? Highly. There's a young man that said something to yeah, plants have feelings just like people. There's a young man that said something to his father the other day. And my father used to say this to me, as though they're just words, let it roll off. I have a really important message I hope everybody hears either now, sometime in the future. Your words are vibrations in the air. They are frequencies, and they either heal or they hurt. They can even kill. You can destroy someone spiritually, emotionally, and physically with your words.
Especially children, because they really take those words and really own them, right?
If you have that, please send me that link. There's someone I need to send that to right away.
Absolutely.
They didn't understand that words are breaking one's spirit Because, you have a lot of people who grew up, especially have been in the military and everything, where everything is toughen up. So they're believing that if they speak harshly to children, that will motivate them to try harder, because that's how they were raised. And they really don't get it, that you are breaking someone's spirit when you say mean things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that illustration is just so powerful. And for those who are listening online and didn't have a visual, what it was is that there were two plants. One was told wonderful things like, "Oh, you're blossoming, makes me happy. You're so beautiful." And the other plant was told mean things like, "You're just rotten. Yeah, I don't like you." Just mean things. And how that affected them over time. One plant was just thriving and vibrant, and the other one, the leaves were hanging, and it just looked sad and depressed, like it was dying. I mean, two identical plants. But what was the time frame that they conduct this experience? How many
30 days, I think.
30 days.
Mm-hmm.
In 30 days, they had almost killed that plant that they said mean things to with just their words. Everything else was the same, sunlight, water, everything else, but it's the words said to one plant that just, you could see a broken spirited plant. The leaves were hanging, it was drooping, it looked like it was dying. The other plant was lifted up to the sky and just vibrant and alive. And you just saw the two different plants in 30 days, what mean words did. So that's for people who didn't see the visual here on. And what's the Facebook page they can go to if they to connect?
So it's Suson Essentials. And
Yeah.
I just put the link in the post while you were talking. You probably saw me looking to the other side. I put the link under the video that's playing our show right now. I will also have it on the YouTube channel later, and in the thread. And the YouTube channel is Suson Essentials. And if I get my technology right, I'll run that up on the here. But Suson Essentials for YouTube, Facebook, and Suson SUSON Essentials. And if you register for the show on Eventbrite, which you can always do, you can follow and then get these notifications and get connected.
Yeah, I know you got to take a break, but you got a caller, so maybe right after the break we can go to the caller.
Okay, that sounds great, and thank you for letting me know. So let's run a few commercials here. Here we go. Beatas.
Hey, it's time to take charge of your health. I'm Beata, your holistic life coach, and every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I'm here on the Female Solution to empower you to make choices that will assist your evolution to abundant health. I'm also blogging every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at Soul Purpose Healing, where I bring you a spiritual chiropractic adjustment to bring you back into alignment with our Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. Join me every Friday morning at 8 a.m. and Sunday evening at 8 p.m. for a time of unity, enlightenment, and love vibration. Shalom.
So I love that commercial with Beata, our soul sister, and a microphone. And she talks about a spiritual chiropractic adjustment.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I have some more commercials, but just wanted to pause.
Yeah.
Jodi Suson of Suson Essentials is certified by the #1 functional medicine doctor on plant-based healing essential oils, which are revolutionizing the way we manage our well-being. Schedule today to take control of your health.
For the Place of Peace pop-up from Suson Essentials, you were able to increase productivity, mental acuity, leaving you with higher energy and peace in just 20 minutes. We pop up at our office or yours. Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. Susan Essentials is re-engineering what health looks like by leading you to the best wellness initiatives in the world. Start your coaching plan today and create a new paradigm of health. Click here to learn more.
So, Raj, would you do me a favor? Just because I think what you're doing is so transformational. It's going to be a way for people to easily make money doing what they do every day. Can you spend like a minute or less? Just give people enough information to call you with your numbers on the screen, 847-754-8555. There's a way for people to make money that we're displacing, as you know, a large online retailer that starts with an A.
Right. Absolutely. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, we're working with a wellness company, an amazing company that's actually has super clean products, like we mentioned earlier. But they're launching a new marketplace platform. And what's beautiful about this platform is it's going to allow people to monetize what they've purchased themselves. So it uses a buy, share, earn model, and it's free to use, free to share, free to earn from. But there's a way to leverage on a scale never done before. But what it will allow you to do is, when you buy an item that you're going to buy anyway, now you become an affiliate for that item, and you can monetize that and make money using a leveraged system that allows you to not only leverage your social media's network, but your network. And so this has never been done before, never been seen before. And I think it's going to transform the way we do business online. But not only that, but it's going to bring a lot of opportunity for people that are looking for opportunity, especially now with the COVID environment. A lot of people are looking for ways to make money online. So.
Yeah, and so I have on the stream here how to get in touch with Raj, his email and his phone number. So if you're not seeing this now, just go to YouTube channel Susan Essentials. His number 847-754-8555, and I think he's got an email up here. Raj, what's your email, hon?
Yeah, it's R Kaldani. That's Kaldani at use.start mail.com.
Yeah, and the reason I do this is because first of all, you've been such a good soul in my life and a gift. And I want to make sure people have an opportunity, with things being as tough as they have been, to make money doing what they do, right? Like just by their everyday purchases, and give them that opportunity. And now we do have a caller, which is 336-350. And I'm going to bring you on the line. And when I bring you on the line, tell me your name, tell me where you're from, and tell me your question. All right, so hopefully I do this right. Well, Grand Rising.
Family.
Grand Rising, and who do we have?
Thank you so much. This is Paris, Mama AZ, calling you from Fort Naco, Fort Huachuca, Buffalo Soldier Country Home. And I tuned in late, and thank you for taking my call. And you were talking about, I heard you talk about the plant, one that was getting good vibrations from the person, and the other one. Have you heard, let me see, it's Judi Dench. and she has this YouTube film, My Passion for Trees or something like that. Very interesting. And have you ever heard of her, of that YouTube?
So I am looking it up right now. First of all, good morning. It is so good to hear your beautiful voice. So happy that you took the time to call in.
So much.
Yeah. So Judi Dench, it's Judi Dench, DEN, N as in Nancy, C as in cat, H. My Passion for Trees. It looks like it was out on BBC in 2017. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's interesting how the universe communicates with me. She talks about the fascination of trees and the life that they have, and you have to watch it. You really do, family. You gotta watch it, because who would think trees? You could hear the water. They did an experiment. You could literally hear the tree, the water running through the tree, where the tree is soaking up the water. There's magnificent research that was done and is done, being done. You gotta watch it, family. It's just fascinating. We everything has life. Everything on the planet, on this planet, has life. So I just thought I'd bring that up to the listening audience, so that you could go and just look at it yourself. I think it's 52 minutes or something like that. Did you find it?
Yeah, I did. And it's actually, I have it in the thread now on Facebook and on YouTube. It's actually on our screen. I've got her name and how it's a must watch. It's a great story. And it's Judi Dench, Passion for Trees. So everyone now.
I posted it.
I posted it, and it's also on our screen here. Great. Thank you for reposting that, because everybody should watch that. That came across my attention, I think, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And thank you for having this. I got to go back to the archive. So thank you for taking my call, and have a most wonderful day, family. And I'll link with you, sister, later on today. I want to know what your bird has to say. I have a question to ask your bird about Coltrane. Coltrane has been coming up for about a month or two. Something's going on, so I want to. Coltrane?
Yeah, John Coltrane. The what was that instrument he played? The saxophone. And a lot of his sounds kind of imitated bird calls as well. You know, he was very, very, very gifted saxophone player, and worked with the science of sound, and and influenced a lot of high thinkers who listen to his music for inspiration on mathematical formulas, even. Yes.
Well, so that the listening audience they're probably wondering why Mama AZ is asking what my bird has to say. So for one, I'm a medical intuitive and a shaman. The bird's a griffin. And she's a magical creature, and she guides us, and if you don't agree, you're entitled. I'm not gonna that's okay. But she's a beautiful, beautiful soul, and she gives us messages. And a lot of times, let me tell you, she wants our attention. She's gonna let us know, she has a message for the world. And I think when we were on the show the other last week, we were talking about, she said, start with heart.
Oh yeah, we were talking about love relationships and the right kind of relationships. The interesting thing about the trees and the plant, whether you just saw, and vibration, if everything is affected by vibration, if everything is alive, that means when we're saying negative things, everything is absorbing that negativity. So everything we're making end up looking like that plant, because we're putting out negative vibrations with our speech, our thoughts, our words, or the energy from our hearts. So this is why I guess when it's still held inside a room, then you have all of the substances in that room that have absorbed the negative energy of negative words. And that's what you're still feeling. So just like that plant gave us a physical manifestation of what it looks like when you say something negative, we're feeling it when we are saying negative things, and it's actually getting transported into every single item in that room, because all of them are energy vibrations. Everything is alive. Everything has molecules that are affected by our own vibrations and negative or positive words. So that's where we go. We're sending vibration everywhere.
Everywhere. It's interesting. So that bird, Fagla, she doesn't even like being called a bird. She's just, she's like, I'm really not a bird. I'm a human inside a bird's body.
Forgive us. We apologize. Didn't mean that.
Sorry. We're not worthy.
You're a feathered soul.
Yeah, right. What happened the other day? There was a tape recording of an argument between two people, and it was on my phone, or it was on one of our phones, and it got hit by accident while she was on my hand. And she went crazy, and she bit the heck out of my hand.
Well, because she was hearing the argument.
Yeah, she heard the argument, went crazy, and started biting me. Like, she just went off. Wow. And that happened twice. We don't bring the cell phones into the bird room anymore, because God forbid. And I'm going to tell you, people, if you have pets, look, they're absorbing your stuff. Just like and I'm not saying I'm any different. Look, I'm human. I have arguments. We now have a kind of a new agreement here in our household. We just put on that pause button. We start with heart. We're pushing out love, 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 and understanding, and seeking to understand before choosing to be understood. Because that's the only way you can go. I have another caller. So Mama AZ, thank you so much. I'm going to take the next caller, which is 773-737. So let me just turn that one off, or I guess I go there. So I'm going to bring you on if you want to give me your name and where you're calling from. Okay, good morning.
Greetings, global transformers and solutionary grand rising. I'm Mama D Love, host of Wisdom with Mama D, fourth Saturday. And while I was visiting in Ghana in October 2018, in preparation for the year of return 2019, we came to this garden, this healing garden of all kind of healing plants. That it was like being in the Garden of Eden. But anyway, there was a plant that was called the sensitive plant. And when you got close to it, it would draw up and move away. And then when you got out of the way, it would come back. But every time you got close, it would pull away again. It was just fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. So the plant closed up when you got close to the plant, and it opened up again when it had its personal space, it sounds like.
Well, it didn't close up. It wasn't that kind of plant that closed up or opened up. It would just pull away.
Just away from you.
Back.
Wow.
So we had to take our own turn. So we would get down and get close to them, and it would go back. And when we would move out of the way, it would come back. And we all just had to have that experience. It was absolutely fascinating because it was. They said, well, it's sensitive. It doesn't like people getting close to it.
So
we should have one of those in every household, right?
Yeah.
That's a real visual teaching lesson there, right?
But now, Mama D, was there anybody that the plant didn't shrink from? If you said nice things, did it still shrink away? It just, I don't like people. Just get away from me. Everybody?
And what kind of plant was it? Sorry.
Everybody that got close to that plant, it would physically move.
We didn't like none of y'all.
You know, we've all been around that that person that gets too close, and you're like, hey.
Hear this, if I may. One day I was looking out the window, and I saw these children, and they were plucking up the grass with a vengeance. Ooh. And for some reason, I just felt so sorry for that grass until I put my head against the window pane, and the spirit of the grass hopped out on me, because the next thing I knew, this is what I was saying: I am the grass, not growing. I did not choose this neighborhood, but I am rooted here in the earth with nature, and life trampled me to death. Folks don't like me because I'm green, even though I am their brother. So I am rooted here in this earth with nature, who is my mother, and life trampled me to death. But you know what? If I had legs like a little bug, I could just crawl away. If I had lungs like a fish, I could swim away. Oh, if I just had wings like a little bird, I could fly away. But with two strong legs like a person, I would just walk away. But I am the grass, so here I stay. I am rooted here in the earth with nature, who is my mother, and life tramples me to death. But you know what? If life wouldn't trample me, maybe I would grow green and be glad to be who and what I am.
Wow. Mama D's channeling poetry from the grass. Wow.
Did you write that, Mama D?
I said it. Yes, I wrote it. And I said the spirit of the grass must have hopped out on me. Because as I put my head against that window pane, I actually felt the pain experience of that grass.
Will you send that to me, and I'll put it on my website and let people, let the world, hear your poetry?
The grass wrote that through Mama D. That's what happened.
I got to tell you, Mama D, I've had that experience with the grass myself, because there was a time where I was very, very tuned into this kind of thing, and I had to cut the grass. It was not an easy thing for me to do. I was like, it was an emotional grass cutting experience. I was like, yeah, it was incredible. But I was feeling it because at the time I was so tuned in. I was tuned into the grass. So it's all living.
So how did the grass feel about getting cut? What were you?
Yeah, I didn't like it, but we came to an agreement that we were just giving it a haircut.
I had to do that because I had let all the plants in my backyard just grow wild. Everybody else on the block, their lawns are all manicured and neat and everything. But I was feeling like I don't want to cut down the growth of these plants. They have a right to grow and flourish. And of course, my backyard started looking like a jungle, and the neighbors started, saying little remarks. And I was feeling sort of bad. So, I called the landscaper to cut the grass, but I really felt bad. And so I had to go out and talk to the grass and all the other plants that people normally call weeds. And I explained to them, we just need you to give you a little trim. That's all.
Yeah. And they agree. They'll agree. They're okay.
They're like, okay, we can.
Right, yeah, we understand.
You have to ask permission. It's a healthy value.
Yeah.
You may not know. I have a tower garden downstairs in our lower level, and it bears lots of peppers, bell peppers for me, and I'm so grateful. And I also use its leaves because they're so full of vitamins. And so when I make a pesto sauce out of the leaves, dandelion leaves, pistachios or pumpkin seeds and things like that. I make a request. I ask that tower garden, can I have this leaf? Can I have this leaf? I just channel and make a request. You have to honor.
Yes.
They're giving me life, and y'all can think I'm crazy, and that's okay. But it works for me.
Yeah. I'm borrowing, I'm asking to take part of your body for my nourishment, may I, and if you feel a yes, then you feel better. Because like, I'm not just treating you like you don't have feelings, because I'm aware that you have feelings, but you will share if I ask.
Well, and think about the cellular makeup, because we run 432 hertz music for the Tower Garden. We also run the Healy on the Tower Garden, which this little ditty, frequency in the air, or hardwired. But the thing is that if I'm making a request, it feels respected, just like your neighbor does, or your work, your coworker or your family. And if you feel respected, what does that cellular makeup look like? It's a good, positive cellular makeup. And now you're consuming good, positive cellular stuff.
Right. The food you're eating feels better because you show respect. And so it has a higher vibration. So, I mean, that, and I recently read that that's where saying grace over your food came from.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Realizing your food is alive. So you're raising the vibration of the food by showing, like you mentioned before, gratitude. I'm grateful that you're sharing your life force energy with me. Everything is alive. So you want to raise the vibration of everything around you by saying positive things and showing gratitude.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If we could imagine that there's a very enlightened, let's say, planet out there, species, okay, they would be much more mindful of how they speak to each other than we are speaking to each other here. Imagine how they would speak to each other. And an evolved species that was resonating with love and community, how would they talk to each other?
Yes.
Right.
When I was, I know we got to go in a minute, but when we were in Florida, and Beata, she has this beautiful yard with all this greenery and plants and trees and everything. So I was walking through this area of the yard that had all these plants, and I could feel them communing with each other and all these different kinds of plants. And I'm looking at them saying, you all have a community here and everybody gets along. And I felt them tell me, take off your shoes. And so I took off my shoes. I'm walking through the earth and everything, and I'm feeling the harmony. And it's like you were saying, they speak kindly to each other. They're loving, and they wanted me to feel that. This is the energy that they have with each other, that we, the human family, we're missing it because, we're all mean and everything and think nobody else has feelings or nobody else's feelings matter. But they're all in tune and beautiful, beautiful plants. And I just felt the love energy. And if we can remember to be as kind to each other and to every living being, just think how we'll change the whole vibration of the planet. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I just want to say one other thing around that is that I mentioned at the beginning of the show early on about your food. Like if you're eating meat and that animal has been caged up and their cortisol levels are rising because you're in a stressful situation, guess what you're eating?
Stress. Mm-hmm. That's why I stopped eating meat. That's the essential reason, because they're living under stress and dying under stress, and you're eating the stress, the fear, the sadness, all of that energy is what you're eating.
Yeah.
I mean,
for those I'm not a vegan by any stretch, but I buy my meat organically. I make sure that they're in large pastures. They have a good life, things like that. I'm very choosy about where I purchase my food because I don't want to consume somebody else's toxin.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Anything else we should say before, Raj, any last words for you before we complete the show? And thank you, by the way, for both of you for being here. So let me just say that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jodi.
For having the show.
So my final thoughts is I am complete. I thank you. I trust and I want to bless everyone that's listening. I want to bless your day and want you to have a vibrant day full of love and gratitude. And move forward with joy and bless them. Thank you.
I'm receiving your blessing. Thank you. Much love and gratitude to you both. You know, you guys are, Raj, you're amazing to me. Naimah, you're amazing to me. You're both a gift that I, you know, really grateful for you both. So.
Yes, we're grateful for you. Thank God. Universal.
We have, I don't, does the music just go on its own?
Oh, you got to hit the button. Here, I'll hit the button. There you go.
I'm not sure which one it is, Dolly.
There you go.
You can tell me after the show again. All right, I'm going to put our
started talking to
www.talkradio.com/the-female-solution.
All right, I'm going to put our.
You can also hear today's show on the Female Solution Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www. In order to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, Sheshe, India, Zanyaba, Japan, Arigato, Korea, Kamsahamnida, Russia, Spasiba, Germany, Danke, Poland, Dziękuję, France, Merci, Spain, Gracias, Italy, Grazie, Egypt, Shukran, Ghana, Medasi, Nigeria, Essex, South Africa, Nyabonga, Senegal, Jerez, Kenya, Asante, Israel, Toda, Pakistan, Shukriya, Afghanistan, Tashakur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.